Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 104.
Oh, yeah.
Of Fringe Fanatics. We are cruising right along. I am Chris Zane.
And I am Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys greatly. We appreciate you tuning in each and every week. We see the downloads going up. We see the views going up.
We had we did have a good handful of extra followers that came through after that Dallas after Attitude came on last week. There was we got a bunch
Attitude
of new Dallas.
Blitz, whatever you want to call them.
I'd say at least 10 new followers from Dallas.
We're gonna have to stop talking so bad about them.
I do feel like that. That's a good point, man. We've always kind of dogged on Dallas, but hey, we're in the same boat as he. We agree that Jerry needs to be fired. So
yeah, there you
thanks
go.
again for
Come
coming
on,
on
Jerry.
Attitude.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thanks for sharing our stuff. We'll have him on hopefully here in the future.
Yep.
But this week we do have another rip-roaring guest. We got Swipe a Cam.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I've been excited. I told you right before we started recording, I've been wanting to get this guy on for a long time. I've been listening to Locked On Nuggets for about 2.5 years now, so
Yeah.
I'm pumped, man.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We're going to talk a bunch of Nuggets stuff, preseason, what the outlook on the season is, how we feel about everything. But we are going to call him here in like 4 minutes. But in the meantime, let's get our weekends out of the way. Why don't we?
Why don't we? Let's do it.
How was yours?
It might be kind of tough to get that all in 4 minutes, but I'll try to hurry.
All right.
It was pretty chill. We watched a couple shitty horror movies on Friday night.
Nice.
If you've heard it, I think that M. Night Shyamalan should just Shyamalan hang it up.
Yeah, shamalama ding dong on out of here.
Oh, for real.
Why don't
we watched the new one called The Watchers.
Oh.
God awful, man.
Is that the one when they're in the woods?
Yeah.
Oh.
So bad.
And isn't David Batista in it, or Dave Batista?
No, you're thinking of another one. That one was good.
Where
I
they're,
know
like,
it,
trying to sit
and
there
that
to
was an M. Night
sacrifice the end
Shyamalan
of the
movie.
world. Is it?
Yeah, and it was still.
It seemed like it was.
Okay, actually, now that I'm remembering more of it, and then we watched another one. It's the new Netflix one. It's like It's What's Inside, where they make it look all trippy and stuff, and they're like, this would be perfect. No, it sucked.
That sucks.
But it's all good. There's a lot of good shows out right now. We finished that Monster show, and then we started watching more of the Grotesquerie show.
Oh, the one with Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
Has he been in it yet?
Yeah, we watched we just finished the last episode.
He's scary.
I was like, cheese! That's all I was doing, man. It's stupid.
Another cheese first now.
She's like, it's not even a game. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Dude, anytime we watch anything with Paul Rudd, Jason Segel, or anything of those guys, I have to say it. It's so douchey, but hey, man, Chiefs fans, got to rep.
You got to. There's that one guy from Modern Family, I think.
Oh, Eric Stonestreet.
Yeah.
And dude, how cool is it that Brad Williams, he is like your mascot for the Broncos?
Yeah,
right
I know.
now.
It's funny. He's
It's
so
fucking
tiny.
cool, man.
Yeah, he's like, just want to pick him up, take him with you.
After that last game, I felt, we follow him on Twitter,
Yeah.
and so he was all about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool. Our week, is that about it? I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Saturday, we just kind of ate a bunch of appetizers. Saturday, we did watch the Royals lose, but that was kind of rough. And then Sunday, we went and got Chili's to go. That is the way to do it, man. We saved like $50
yeah,
because we just drink at the house.
cheaper.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then put something on. I don't know. It was cool. Like scare
The
some
fights
horror
were on.
movies.
Did you watch that?
Saturday night we did.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched those, and we'll get into a little bit later. But that was a good time.
Nice.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. But last night, that was like, I felt like I was a kid going to Worlds of Fun.
Yeah, I
It
know.
was
You got the
amazing,
double down, dude.
Yep.
Double win.
I was really hoping that not one of them didn't lose and one of them win. That way it kind of like balanced out. My back really got fucked up today, so I think like maybe that's where it was.
You're
It's
rooting
just life,
too hard, dude.
It's
You're
like, I think so, man. I get rowdy. She had to close the windows and stuff. She's like, someone's probably gonna think you're yelling at me or something. But yeah, it was great. Royals and Chiefs win on the same day. Chiefs finally win without like being close. So
Yeah.
it was great.
Definitely.
How was your
And,
weekend?
It was pretty good. Went to a baby shower for one of Meryl's cousins on Saturday.
Cool.
That was pretty cool. Babies and stuff. There wasn't any real games like I thought we were going to be doing, which I was kind of excited about because I didn't want to I don't know. I just didn't really want to participate in like baby shower games, but
Yeah.
I'm just a negative Nelly like that.
I don't blame you. Most guys don't really go to baby showers.
Yeah, it was like a
Very
happy
supportive
hour
of you.
baby shower.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it was kind
That's
of
the way
laid
to
back.
go.
There was a bunch of guys there, but well, I'm gonna cut mine off because we do need to call him. We got yours.
We'll
out
pick
of
it
the
up.
way.
We'll pick it up.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yours doesn't count. We'll just
Yeah, I
cut it
don't.
out.
My weekends don't
I'm
matter.
just
My
kidding.
what I do doesn't matter. Nothing I do matters.
Swiper. Let's
Swiper
get him on the line.
the line. Here we go. I'm gonna close that real quick. All right, here we go. Swipe a cam.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
No, we
At
gotta
the
text
tone,
him. We gotta
Please
text him.
record your message.
Are you
When
going to text him? You want me to? Do you already have it on your phone?
I don't. If you do, you go for it.
I got it real quick. Tell him just get into your weekend a little bit.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we did the baby shower thing. We have been watching. Oh, we watched the new Salem's Lot. I thought it was pretty good.
I saw that
It is
advertised.
very. It flies through it. The old one's pretty good. I haven't seen the old one in forever, but that was pretty good. We did watch another one of those Terrifier movies.
Oh my god.
You should watch one. I laugh like when people are getting killed because it's so funny to
Yeah.
me.
She hates gore a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You might have to watch one by yourself.
I think
just
I might
see.
have to, yeah.
Because I was laughing.
Sheila's been
but-
really pushing me to watch it at work, so I might have to check it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a great movie by any means. I still don't really understand where the guy came from or his backstory or anything like that. He's just a clown. And the first movie you see him putting on makeup, but then it's almost like he's super like human. I don't know. Wild movie though. I did laugh quite a bit. It is very entertaining because it's just an insane movie. Then Sunday we watched the Broncos win a good game.
Man,
finally, dude.
yeah.
One of the highest scoring teams of the week. Look at that.
I know.
Look at that.
And it came in a game where, and you might have found out that you might have a comedian at quarterback, man. It's
yeah,
pretty
Bo
funny.
Nix. He he had the I dropped back and threw it to the other team when D-Mac asked
Had
him
that.
about the interception.
And then the
Then
little
just
spat.
recently, him and Sean Payton got into it on the sidelines, and he said they were just exchanging "I love you." So,
Dude, that's a great way to handle it. All I can think of is and you think about last year when, what was it? Yeah, it was last year that
When-
him and Russ got into it.
and Russell just sat there, like,
Just went back like a puppy that just got in
Yeah.
trouble. And then Bo Nix,
he gave it to him.
he got a
man.
little alpha in him.
Yeah.
Kind of claps back at him. It's awesome. So
Yeah, I liked it.
It really shows the type of quarterback that you want in there.
Yeah, so that was good to see. I was excited about that. But yeah, now we're here. Last night was good for you. I enjoyed watching the Royals beat the Yankees, so
bet
that
so.
was nice.
Nice.
But other than
thank you.
that, we are here, man.
Well, should we try again? I did text him. I haven't
Okay.
heard back, but we can try again.
We'll try her again.
I
Let me
did
put
say
the-
5:40, so we are like 2 minutes early.
Oh, okay. All right. 3, 4. Oh, no, don't want to do that.
You calling the right number?
Yep.
All right, I'm not going to say it online.
Yeah, no. It started to. It's easy to do when you're typing it. Okay, here we
Get
go.
it out.
Otra vez.
Here we go.
We've got ringing.
It's a good sign.
We've got ringing.
Please pick up.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Son of
The person you're
a-
trying to
Alright.
reach is not available.
All right,
At
this
the-
is great. This is live podcasting.
Yeah,
This
this
shows
is
you
what
that It
happens
is all live.
When
we will
you
get them on the line.
try and call people and the lines don't connect. This is what happens.
Yep, it's all good. Did you want to mention anything else about your weekend?
I'm trying to think. I did start my new job. That's cool.
Yep.
Been doing that for 2 days now, so that's exciting.
What's your attire at work now that you're kind of like in the office? Do you have a collared shirt on?
I did today.
I
So-
would have loved to see that.
Yeah,
I don't
so
think I've ever seen you
I
in
wear a
shirt.
collared shirt. Well, you ever go golfing with me? I'll rock a collared
Dude, it's
shirt.
funny. I just saw the golf clubs in the garage over the weekend. I was like, God damn.
Oh, I've got you.
We
I've got you a better set too.
Yeah, we need to make that happen, man.
Yeah, we do need to go golfing. But yeah, I am rock. I still wear black jeans. I still have a backwards hat on.
I don't own blue jeans.
Yeah.
I don't have any blue jeans. I have like khaki jeans, and then I've got black jeans as well.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
like blue
with,
jeans.
With the vest already being blue, if I wear blue jeans, I've got like a 3/4 Canadian tuxedo. You know what I mean? So
Going
that's
full
something I've
Denim
got to
Dan.
worry. Yeah, Denim Dan, Denim Dan in style.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's been good. I've got a company car. I'm ripping around in that thing.
What kind of car is it?
It's a GMC Terrain SUV.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
It's pretty cool. I'm excited to
badass,
not
dude.
have to pay for gas to go to work. That is very cool.
Wow, that'll save a lot of money.
Yeah. So that in and of itself, pretty much, the best part of the job.
Yeah,
No
that's
gas.
up. That's cool.
No, but yeah, it's cool working with my brothers and stuff again, and everything's on the up and up. So
Good.
glad
Good to
about
hear.
all of that. In the meantime, let us get into some headlines. We've got some. What?
First, this day in sports.
Oh my God, we skipped it last
Yep.
week. Yeah,
no, I don't. Did we
we
skip it?
did. Yeah,
Did we really?
yeah, we
Oh,
flew
wow.
right by it.
Because I think we went right to the guest, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, son of a
Look,
bitch.
when we go right to the guest, sometimes it throws us off.
It's
a
all
little
good.
bit.
But this one is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Tell us about it, Chad.
1995, on October 9th, Dan Marino breaks. Is today the 9th? No, it's the 8th. I wrote down the wrong date in the notes. That's what because I thought we were going to record
No,
on
it's on
Wednesday.
this one. I checked it today. It was on here. I went on this day in sports.
Right, no, but I'm saying I thought I said the 9th because
You wrote
earlier
the 9th.
because I thought we
yeah,
were
yeah.
recording on Wednesday.
No,
Anyway,
we're here Tuesday.
Yep. It is the 8th, and October 8th, 1995, Dan Marino broke Fran Tarkenton's, one of the coolest quarterback names in NFL history,
Yeah.
career completion record.
Yeah, it was also, Fran Tarkenton was like the first, mobile runaround quarterback. So he was like your what a lot of guys are nowadays. So yeah. Marino did it when he completed a 9-yard pass to Irving Fryer during a 34-17 win against the New England Patriots. And that is when he passed him to become the all-time leader. So
Pretty awesome. It's just a good way to never forget about all of the records Dan Marino broke. He was one of the quarterbacks that never won a Super Bowl, but broke a lot of records.
yeah, definitely.
Filled up the stat books. So
He did, and
Just
what
remember that.
a lot of people say if he played today, he would break every record. But I don't know.
yeah, it's tough to tell.
say.
Yep. All right, now we
Now,
can get into some headlines.
Let's get into some headlines.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
What in the wide world of sports is going on?
What in the world is going on?
That's true.
We had a lot of stuff. Well, there's just a lot going on in sports this week.
Today was a busy day.
Today was a busy day. We had some news go down in the NFL. It's going to shake things up. So let's get into it with a little bit of this.
Are you ready for some football?
I'm ready.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Giving him the business.
He was, and unfortunately, Robert Saleh got the business end of the business stick today.
He did. That's what sucks when you're playing with Aaron Rodgers. You will be the sacrificial lamb.
It's
won't
not
be
the
him.
first time it's happened either, so
Nope,
it
not
won't
at
be
all.
the last.
It was Mike McCarthy at one point. And,
Yeah, 6 months into the season.
Yep.
And then I believe, let's see, LaFleur, he made him change his entire offense to fit him, and now LaFleur's offense is flourishing, which is very hard to say
It's
LaFleur and flourishing.
Much better.
Much
Yeah.
better with Jordan Love quarterbacking.
Yeah.
So is this just another domino to fall in the long line of coaching dominoes that is now Aaron Rodgers' twilight career?
What do you think the odds? Give me percentage chance that Aaron Rodgers even finishes this season.
Oh, I don't know, man.
mean-
Now that this has happened, there's been rumblings that a trade to Oakland could happen. Maybe Devontae doesn't move.
And it's
Maybe
Rodgers
they
that
trade
moves.
Rodgers. So I don't know, man. At this point, though, him finishing out that contract is next to impossible. So
Yeah.
it's not going to happen.
He just every week is on all fours, just scrambling to try to get up.
Well, I mean, last week it looked like his leg came off
Yeah.
when he got tackled
He had
and
that low
spun up
ankle
on.
sprain.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not looking good. But I mean, I brought it up earlier, and I didn't even realize that all this stuff would actually be part of what happened. But when we were in the group chat for fantasy, which Chad is dominating in, by the way, might I add to toot his horn. He is dominating the Fringe Fanatics Fantasy League at the moment. But
And the Smalley League.
Oh, are you?
I did finally lose my first game, but I am still in first
I'm
place.
creeping up, and my team's finally starting to play good. So
that's
I'm
awesome.
looking excited about
Nice.
that. I'm feeling good about Smalley, not so much about Fringe Fanatics. I might be playing to not eat something hot. So.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of football left.
There is. But where was I going with that? Oh,
You're talking about Robert Saleh.
Oh, yeah, all the stuff that was going on. So, yeah, in the beginning of the season, we had the trip to Egypt, which now, shortly after I brought that up, they come out and said that was the beginning of the fragmentation of their relationship. Then there was, like, the weird push-shove thing that happened that everybody just played off.
Yeah.
But
he doesn't like to be hugged.
It all came to a head after the last game when Saleh basically threw Rodgers under the bus, saying that it's his cadence that's throwing off the offensive line. And you could just see in Rodgers' face that he was not happy.
He found out from a reporter.
Yeah, he's like, really? And then come to today, supposedly, Saleh was going to demote Hackett or fire him. Was the word.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so I was following on Twitter and all this stuff was coming out. So supposedly Hackett was demoted today, and then an hour later Saleh was fired. So what do you think happened in that 60 minutes?
And see, that's what's so dumb is the owner, Woody Johnson, came out and said, it was solely my decision, all this. Man, we know better than that.
It might have been his final say, but who do you think was like, he's got to go?
There's no way he didn't consult with Rodgers first or anything.
I mean, come on.
It's just ridiculous.
Look at what all they've done for Rodgers, and now it's like Saleh gets the shit into the stick, unfortunately.
I love that it's blowing up in their face.
I just don't see how the offense is going to get better.
No.
The defense might stay the same, but I don't know.
It's considered, along with Carolina, one of the worst offenses in the league. Here's a stat. I'm glad I just now remembered this. Check this out. So there we go.
We're getting a call.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
What's up, Swiper? How's it going, man?
Oh man, I'm so sorry, y'all.
No, you're all good, man.
Dude. I've been trying to get settled all night, man. I apologize, y'all. I appreciate you waiting.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. We had a little bit of mix-up of the time zones and everything like that. It's all good. Dude, actually, it was nuts when you said you're in Atlanta. I didn't even realize that. I have some friends right now that are there that that drove out there from Florida because of the hurricanes. So hopefully you're not seeing any effects of that or anything coming through, like some bad weather.
No, I mean, honestly, they said that Georgia's supposed to be in the clear. We got hit 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But obviously, there was nothing for what the people on the coast are dealing with. So obviously, just praying that everybody's going to be okay, and that if they got to get out, they can get out.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's wild. Hopefully everybody's safe out there. Well, I'm Chris. You got Chad over here as well.
What's up, man?
We want to get into some Nugget stuff, but before we do, go ahead and just give us a rundown of, give our listeners a little feedback into like all you do, because you do a lot, man. I mean, you're all over the place.
Yeah, so I started off, first off, named Swiper. Started off on YouTube December 2020, just covering Nuggets games, just a random, just kind of had a passion for sport. I played, college football, tried out for the NFL, played basketball all the way from through, high school, state championships and all that. So basketball had always been kind of in my DNA. I'm born and raised in Park Hill, Denver, Colorado. Chauncey Billups, Lindell White. So I grew up going to Hiawatha Davis, MLK. I went to all the AAU tournaments you can imagine. So basketball's been in my blood, and my city's always been in my blood. So, whether I was in Texas in grad school, whether I was in Atlanta, like I am now and working, I was always committed to, 303, 720, 32nd and MLK my whole life.
Oh, yeah.
So got started out of just a dream, and I have a background in public speaking, and basically from there, man, I got a lot of really, really faithful Nuggets fans that showed me a lot of love, and honestly, a lot of Serbian fans that showed me a lot of love.
Nice.
Yeah, from there, it just kind of turned into, from YouTube to doing Mile High Sports, to doing Bleacher Report, doing Player's Choice, doing Locked On, and kind of a bunch of different things. So, it's really just by the grace of God, and also just from the blessing for being around a lot of great Nuggets fans and a lot of great basketball community that's been really supportive, since the jump. And so, this is year 3 for me, and so I've been really blessed to be involved in the process and being around the team. And I'm a credentialed media member now, so
awesome.
being around the players and being around the coaches and stuff, man, I'm telling you, like, no, I definitely couldn't have imagined it would have all have gone this well.
Yeah, man, that's crazy just to have started, 3 years ago to be where you're at. It gives us some hope,
Oh, yeah. It's really cool following you on all the socials, too, man. Like, seeing you at the game and everything like that. Like, it's the life, man. That's what we aspire to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is, you find something you're passionate about, and then you chase it until the wheels fall off. And I remember, I don't know if y'all are, like, inspiration people at all, but Bono, he said basically, like, you just find a passion in your heart and find a need around you and find a way to make those two things intersect. And so I think y'all just keep doing what you're doing, make good content, treat people well, and be faithful to, what you feel like you're supposed to do with your talent, man. And I think success always follows.
That's right, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that.
That's what I like to hear right there.
Yeah, definitely,
A little inspiration,
Well, sweet. Let's get into it, man. We saw the Nuggets play a couple days ago, a couple of different games. One of them where the Celtics just threw up nothing but threes. So, give us your thoughts on it. I'm kind of gonna get into a little bit of like Russell Westbrook as well, and some of your other thoughts on the bench.
Yeah, honestly, the first half is kind of what I took away from both of the two games. I just really want to see like good versus good. If it's like a football term,
right?
When you got the one going up, kind of what a game looks like. And the Nuggets, they were up 63-56 in the first game when all the starters were out there, and then they had a second rotation of starters in the second quarter, and you saw both teams kind of deploying their own strategies and kind of their impressed, I think, with the Nuggets in the starting five. I mean, they were always going to be good with Christian on the court. A lot of this is going to come down to like portability and how well they play together, and communication, and is Christian able to develop a 4 to 3-point shot? Last year he shot 8% from 10 to 15 feet. You just want to shoot a lot better than that, and he needs to be able to run some DHOs and finish and all that stuff. But I thought he did a really good job defensively on Jason Tatum. I thought Aaron Gordon looked really good, and he took 10 shots and taking jumpers. But I think that just kind of has to be part of the strategy this year, because they're going to have more limited spacing than they did the year before. Part of I think what they should do, and Malone talked about this in media day, you're just going to have to increase your overall volume. And I think that's Murray, Porter, and Jokic in particular. But I think even Gordon needs to be a part of that. Like, if you got an open three-pointer, just take it and then just get a rhythm down, see if you can catch fire this season like he did 2 years ago when he shot 39% from three. I thought Russ, given what the Nuggets need, which is rim pressure, which is somebody who can create enough gravity to going towards the basket that you're able to get either a runner with you, which is DJ or Vlaco or Saric, going down to the rim where they can finish off of your playmaking, or even, if you can surround them with shooters, and then you can get, Julian Strawther, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, get Vlaco in the corners at times. Saric, get them open opportunities as well. And I thought he did a really good job of that. I love Michael Porter Jr. It's aggressive. They started off with 10 points in the first quarter, the first game. And I just love that, Jamal in the second game got going a little bit, but I just kind of have a feeling Jamal's just kind of coasting things right now, just letting things come to him. But I do feel like regular season, he's going to come out ready to swing, especially versus the Thunder. That's a matchup that obviously the Nuggets are going to need to get early. But overall, I like what Michael Malone did. I like the deployment. You can tell that they went into the offseason with a plan with Russ and said that we're going to surround him with as many shooters as possible. We know what his limitations are. We're going to try to mitigate those things, and we're going to try to surround him with things that will amplify his strengths. And then Jokic is Jokic. I really don't think there's, too much need to say anything else. And he was incredible, 5 of 7 in the first game, and then was dominant in the second game, 20 points in the first half. He's the best player in the world. But overall, I think this team is going to have some flaws. They're going to have to find ways to be strategic about how to address those things, and that's going to be done through lineup variations. But overall, I think this is a championship-level team but they definitely have to hit their stride at the right time when it comes to their overall shooting.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I was looking forward to it. I was trying to, will it into existence before it happened. Was the Russell Westbrook trade, signing Russell Westbrook. But it was something that the bench severely needed, and just that the energy off the bench has been so lacking. And I've been really looking forward to see what Russell Westbrook can do, where he's just attacking. And we obviously know he can't shoot 3-pointers, but hey, his first shot 3-pointer. So, he's got a chance. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he can do with the bench, and also those few crossover minutes with the ones, seeing how well him and Jamal can play together as well, especially once Jamal actually finally ramps up into regular season mode, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I said this last summer, before they re-signed Reggie and all that, and I think that the best approximation for what Bruce Brown brought to the team that was going to be somebody that was affordable was Russell Westbrook. And I thought they should have acquired him last year just because Bruce Brown's best thing was his defense. He offered tremendous rim pressure and athleticism. But on the other end of that as well, I just think that there's just some things that he just offered to the team from an energy standpoint that they severely needed. So I do think Russ is going to be able to provide a good bit of that. But obviously his finishing is going to be something that has to be kind of watched over and questioned just because that's his weakness. He missed 3 layups and over the course of the game made 3 3-pointers. You want to see more consistency from his shot making, but Russ at this point will be 36, I believe, by the end of this year. Yeah. So he's probably not going to be able to have like a career year with that. But hopefully, especially when he's playing with Joker, that's going to be a great opportunity for him to be able to have like a lot of open looks at the rim where he can finish at a higher level.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also still a crazy stat to me that Russell Westbrook is the first All-Star that Jokic has played with on the team. So it's just like... yeah, and hopefully Jamal can get over that hump this year. I know that is something that everybody's kind of looking forward to. Like maybe now that he's got paid, he can kind of, start actually trying to, well, it's not necessarily his fault. He does get overlooked a lot, but hopefully this year he can overcome and get into that all-star or, first team NBA type stuff.
Technically, Joker's played with Paul Millsap all-star, DJ all-star,
that's true.
All-star, but again, like none of them were like near the apex of the power except for Paul Millsap, and everybody saw once Joker got Paul Millsap, they went from like, a fringe fun team to like, this team's actually really good, and they have a good
team. Yep.
Right. So I think that's kind of it. Like, I don't know if MPJ, Gordon, Murray, my bet, Peyton or Julian are ever going to be able to really get there. And I do think that speaks to if the Nuggets had a player of that caliber on a consistent basis, the whole team will be talked about much differently. They will be looked at much differently. So I do think Jamal had the opportunity to do it. But the funny thing, y'all, is Jamal shot, 21, 4, and 6.5 last year on 47, 42, dang near 43, and 85. If Jamal Murray just increases the 3-point attempts from 5 to, I would say, 8, 9, like Jason Tatum volume, he would be an all-star on the basis of he would be averaging 24 and 6 on really good efficiency still.
Yeah.
I do think that is one of the solves for the Nuggets. If he changes his play style just a little bit to be a little bit more modern in his shot diet, I think then that would help the Nuggets in their 3-point shooting, but also Jamal Murray, personally, I would just take him into another tier as an overall player.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
And I think what could really help with that is like what you were talking about earlier with MPJ and his aggressiveness in that preseason game. One thing that I brought up to you when we were trying to get you on is like the MPJ, when he had comments on his offseason, he was very vocal on his conditioning, and he said he really wanted to mimic what Steph Curry has been able to do with just how his conditioning is just out of this world, being able to run up and down the court, shoot right off the dribble, and all of his cutting and moving without the ball. So I think that can really open up Jamal Murray's like open threes, because if we've seen it. MPJ just kind of like stands in the corner. A lot of the time. Like, dude, you got to move. And if he's cutting, hopefully that'll allow an open lane where Jokic will find, with all of his eyes in the back of his head, Murray for an open 3 there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to see that.
there is a question of like what does the next step for MPJ's game look like, given that he just turned 26 years old. He has a lot of room left to grow, I believe. But I think some of this is going to be Michael Malone unlocking that part of their offense. I will say that I think their offense got a little stale last year, but they got so reliant on the two-man game that it became too much of their identity. And I think that there's a path for Michael Porter to kind of get back to that 2020, 2021 version when Murray was out, where he was averaging 23 and a half. He was shooting like 50, 50, 78. He's not going to do that.
Yeah.
But if Porter can get closer to 20, and he can increase his volume, we can find more ways to get him the ball. And I do think that would just be something that would help them again. So I think Porter and Murray can both be two players that would take leaps this year in terms of some of their usage and their play style.
Yeah. Speaking on Malone, I did kind of want to ask you, as you kind of do have a behind the scenes, take on things. Was there any validity behind the comments made that there might be a little bit of a fracture between Malone and the front office?
Yeah, I think some of that's more so philosophy, but Malone and Boots have both said they're working it out and trying to make it work with the best they can with the CBA. And Malone did mention that one of the things that he has had to open his eyes up to behind the scenes is the role of the front office and how the CBA is impacted the way that we're building teams now. And Malone even said that, he had to take a little bit of a step back as a coach just to see how a lot of decisions have to be made a little differently than they had historically because of the way the new contract situation works around the league. And then you even saw in the NBA GM poll that came out today that the first thing that they said they would change is the CBA and the financial restrictions and how that's impacted the league as a whole. So I would say it's definitely like a philosophical thing. But honestly, I talked about this too. The Nuggets have 5 rookie contracts in their rotation. And that's a championship team. That's just not something you typically see, where you have that many young players that are basically making up such a core of your team. But on top of that, you look outside the starting 5, you got Russell Westbrook, Julian Strawther, Peyton Watson, and Dario Saric. And even Calvin Booth said they had 9 real guys. That was the language he used in his rotation. But then you look after that, then you got Hunter Tyson. Then you got Jalen Pickett. Now, Deron Holmes obviously is out. Then you got DeAndre Jordan. You start to look at it that way, and it's like, okay, well, how many playable NBA players can you verifiably trust on your roster? I think that's where some of this came from, and I think that's why Russ had to be added. And if they didn't, they would have been relying on Trey Alexander and Jalen Pickett to be the answer to the backup point guard position, and that just would have been an abominable decision by the front office.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just isn't realistic, and unfortunately, I think they did the best they could with what was available to them this year, with how hamstrung they are with having the super maxes and stuff. So, it's a bummer, but also, like I said, they could have handled it way worse, and I'm excited with what they did. And it is kind of getting Malone to let some of these younger guys finally try and blossom, like Julian Strawther. I think there are going to have to be some games throughout the season where you might have to take some losses that you normally wouldn't, because you need to let a guy like him stay in the game and get some actual game time minutes come, playoff time when you might really need him, because this team was beat down and, barely made it through into the playoffs. And we saw them struggle with just, exhaustion and the like when it came down to, when they really needed to do it. So.
Yeah, they had a target on their back all year. It's not going to be as great this year, obviously, because the Celtics are the champions. But, yeah, I mean, some of that is, I would say that the team just kind of, they choked a little bit. Jokic and Murray were the only ones that scored over 10 points in that Game 7. And I think if they win Game 7, now they're playing versus the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. The matchup is much better for them. They win that series, they're going to play against Boston, who also is a good matchup for them relative to the league. I think that Minnesota's the toughest matchup just because of the size and the defense. So, we'll see. We'll see kind of how they respond this year. We'll see how Julian and Christian and them, how they all get better. And really, it's just their development is going to be central to how good this team is going to be. And if you get leaps out of Peyton, Christian, and Julian, or at least 2 of them, then, yeah, I think this is the championship team again.
Yeah, I think so too, man. Big Jayhawk fan here, so I'm always a big fan of seeing Christian develop. And as soon as they drafted him, I was all about it. And this year, there's a lot of talk that he's going to be in the starting lineup. I believe that's the expectation. I think I heard it was either your most recent episode that came out today or your co-host from the day before about how his shooting percentage definitely needs to go up when it comes to his 3-point shooting. I mean, he was great in college, but it's definitely gone down a lot in the NBA, and that's expected. But especially when it comes to free throws, I mean, he's a guy that there's no excuse that free throw percentage needs to get up in the high 80s or at least in the mid 80s, and because he's going to drive so much, he's so aggressive, and that's the big expectation, especially with Saric, that they're going to be a little more aggressive, and Russell, that they're going to be a little more aggressive around the rim. So those free throws are going to be there. You got to make them.
Yeah, driving to the rim, that's another thing. KCP was a very good free throw shooter. That obviously aided them late game situation a lot. So they're definitely going to need another player to be able to step up in that matter. That's why I think sometimes, it's going to be Julian Strother that's going to be closing instead of Christian, because Christian is just not yet a reliable free throw shooter, scorer, finisher yet. But yeah, I mean, we'll find out. I mean, there's a lot, like I said, a lot of questions to be answered overall about this roster and about this team. But Christian, he has you're going to have a big responsibility. This is big boy time. This is contract extension time.
Exactly.
You play well and you dominate and you show, like, I'm going to be one of the best two-way twos in the league. Again, that changes things. Like, if Christian becomes, like, the best version of himself, this year that he could be, he's shooting across the board. He shot 38% from three last year. Let's say he shoots 41% from three on a uptick in volume this year. He hits his corner threes. He's able to make 79% of his free throws. He plays lights out defense like he does usually, and he finishes well in transition in the half court. Then that dude's he's about to get paid, like real money.
Yeah.
So this is a really big opportunity for him, and so he needs to step up and do it. But again, I just am skeptical only because of his skill set. Like, Peyton Watson is the easiest plug and play for me. If he's able to step up at all and be a better 3-point shooter, be able to convert those looks and show some consistency offensively, then I think Peyton is going to be the answer to all this, because he's the best defender already of the group. Outside of Aaron Gordon, he's probably the best. There's an argument he's the best defender on the team.
Oh, no doubt.
And I talked to even
Peyton Swatson.
I was going to say, that's his nickname, man. Peyton Swatson.
Right. So hopefully he's able to kind of be the answer to a lot of those questions as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, I sure hope so, man.
Well, do you have anything else, Chad, or should we let this man go?
I appreciate all the time. I think that's pretty much all I got right now.
Yeah, I guess over under, what do you think wins are going to be this year? Are they going to go for Are they going to go for it, or are they going to take it easy?
I think I'm setting it at 54.
Okay.
I think that's about where I'll be. I'm higher than the consensus on it. I don't think they're going to push for 56, 57, but I think 54, given how good their team is and their floor will be. Right now, ESPN has them at 47. The Nuggets they don't go under. Yeah. So I think they're going to go over, and so that's a matter of, like, health. If Jamal Murray plays a few extra games this year, they were 44-15 with Jamal Murray and Jokic in the lineup last year. If they're able to play more with him, 65 games, and again, 50 and 15, 40, 49 and 16. I mean, they could be around there. That's how good they are. So if they can get more healthy games from Murray, and including, remember, in their 3 games he left last year. So if he's able to play and really play, I think they're about to be a lot better than many people realize.
Yeah, and I think we forget, too, that they're probably, especially for Jokic, a little more mentally healthy this year as well, because they didn't go as far.
Right.
We all wanted them to. So Jokic got a few extra races with the horses. Murray got to, go up and play ball with his Canada boys and everything. And so I think they were able to reset a little bit, and I think they're able to come at it with, like you said, the target is on the Celtics back this year. So, then we have Karl Anthony Towns in New York. We don't have as much size in Minnesota now, but I think that they're going to be able to play with a little more confidence, I think.
Yeah.
A little more swagger.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see. I really appreciate y'all inviting me on.
Yeah, definitely, man. We really appreciate you coming on, and hopefully when the season gets going on, we know you're going to be really busy, but if you could squeeze in another 20, 30 minutes for us, we'd be happy to have you on, man. We'd be really honored.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just let me know.
Of course.
Always down for an invitation.
Sweet. Thank you, Swipa, man. You have a great night. Thanks again for your time. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully we'll talk to you here soon, man.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night, y'all.
Yeah,
you
you
too,
too.
man.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
Sweet.
Man, he knows his basketball.
Yeah.
Just rattling it off. Christian Brown's 3-point percentage.
Yeah,
off
from
the
like
top
a
of his
year
head.
ago and stuff. It's
Nuts,
just like, wow,
man.
man, damn. All right,
So
well,
that's good. That's humbling right there.
We've got a bar.
He's a real
set.
pro.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's just crazy too. And I didn't realize it's only been 3 years that he's been doing it because
Yeah.
I've pretty much been following him the entire time. Then,
Yeah.
so that's pretty crazy. Super cool to have him on again. Greatly appreciate the time.
Oh yeah.
So let's get into the music break, shall we? Or do you want to continue?
We didn't
on?
really finish NFL headlines. If you want to,
Let's finish NFL and then we'll do it.
That sounds good to me, man.
Okay, back to the NFL. So I don't remember where we were.
We just got done talking about Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
There are. I just
It's
pulled
quarterback
up.
news.
What's that?
As if there's some quarterback news.
Oh yeah. Drake May is
Drake
expected
May
to start.
is now starting for the New England Patriots. I don't know how well he's going to fare.
Yeah, that
Their
offensive line
is terrible.
Horrible.
And then also, Derek Carr will be out for several weeks now with an oblique injury.
Got
So
hurt last night.
we'll
there
see.
is-
We might be seeing Spencer Rattler because I think
Bring in the Rattler.
Taysom Hill's still out too. I think he's got like multiple.
I really
injuries.
think that game would have been a lot closer. When that offense is way different when Taysom Hill's in there.
Yeah, they
He
just changes
changes it
everything
up,
up because you're like, I don't know what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
Is he a quarterback? Are they gonna
Tight
throw it to
end?
him? They're gonna throw it to the tight end. He's gonna drop back and throw it again. I
He's
don't
a
know.
punter, kicker, you
Yeah.
can do it all, man. But we do. There
He's a
are
Swiss Army knife.
quite a few injuries to hit this week.
you're
I'm just going to touch on a
rattle
few
down
of
some.
them.
Okay.
But it was decided that they did have Rashee Rice's surgery today. It was an LCL surgery, so it was really good to find out there was no damage to the ACL, but he will be out for the regular season. So there is a chance, cross your fingers, that if the Chiefs make the playoffs, that he'll be there for that. That would be huge.
Yeah, the LCL is definitely a way better thing than an ACL or an MCL. So good to hear on that. It's still crazy though. It's like gone through so many things. It's like he's ACL done for the season. No, I think he's all right. Nah, let's look
really
at the
weird.
LCL. It's like,
Must
what
say,
is it?
It was because his knee was so swollen, so it's just real crazy that
Yeah.
they just couldn't really even tell because of all the swollen.
The swollenness, man. He's all
Swelling?
swole.
I know that's probably how I
Got
should
all
put that,
swole.
swelling. I'm just going to run down this real quick. The Amarius Mims for the Bengals tackle hurt his ankle and was carted off. That's really bad. They're already hurting on their offensive line. We all saw Josh Allen hit his head and then come back into the game.
Out cold, mind you.
Mistakenly. Really kind of a mishap on the Bills medical team. But we haven't yet to see if he's day-to-day in concussion protocol.
I haven't heard anything, so I think he's good to go.
Probably good to go. It's Josh Allen. We all know that.
When you get knocked out and come right back, you're fine.
The Browns have a ton of injuries. Just look it up.
Their whole
are hurt.
team.
Yeah. Nobody
And
wants to play for
Deshaun
them
Watson's
right now.
also hurt, just his feelings.
Yeah, playing horribly. Let's see. The Dolphins, Devon Achane got a concussion. He had to leave that game, and then Javon Holland hurt his hand. So more injuries on them. Then, like we already talked about, Aaron Rodgers, he should be good to go. Panthers, doesn't matter, they suck. Ramondre Stevenson, he got benched, and then his
Looked
leg-
really good.
Yeah.
And then hurt his leg.
Yep. So then this was a pretty big one here, especially for the Raiders. This happened in you guys' game. Christian Wilkins hurt his foot and did not return to the game.
Yeah, that was a big one.
We play them in a couple weeks, well, about 3 weeks, so wouldn't be too mad if he couldn't come back for that.
And he might not. We'll see how bad that ankle injury is.
Yep. And then on the Ravens, offensive lineman Roger Rosengarten, that's their new rookie, right?
I think so.
Yep. He exited with an ankle injury. Not good because their offensive line's already taken a lot of hits. Then this is another huge one. Nico Collins. Man, this sucked because I've got him on my team. Goes off for a 67-yard touchdown and then gets hurt on the play.
Yeah, hamstring. Wasn't
Hamstring,
it?
yep.
Dang old Hammy, the sniper got him. The
He's
sniper in the
considered-
stands.
Yeah, week to week right now, unfortunately. And their star safety, Jimmy Ward, was ruled out with a groin injury. Not good. And then another big one, Aaron Jones hurt his hip. He has to.
That sucked for me.
I had
those
him in my
points.
family league
Yeah.
too. It only got me like 6 points.
Yeah, 6 points.
Yep.
Bummer. Hope his
He
zip's
had
okay.
an MRI today. We have yet to find out the results of that. Other than that, the 49ers safety Talina Hafunga hurt his wrist, left the game and didn't return. And then their kicker really swayed the strategy of this game. Jake Moody hurt his hamstring.
Not nearly as bad as the the Giants the other day.
Yep.
But still, yeah. Now I saw they signed another kicker.
No,
Because they were worried about his injury not being able to go forward.
You gotta have a kicker.
Yeah, you gotta have a kicker.
But that does wrap it up for NFL. Unless you want to get up to the
let's
Daily
just do the Daily Dogs, and then we'll
figured.
continue.
Cool.
So let's get into it real quick.
Pull that Daily Dogs out!
Nice.
I will go first.
Hit it.
As I chose Jamar Chase, who had one hell of a week last week, as he basically destroyed me in the Fringe Fanatics League.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
193 yards.
Yeah,
Right?
10 of 12 targets, 193 yards, and 2 touchdowns on a team-high 41 routes in Week 5. With his 60-yard catch-and-run score, Jamar Chase moved into tie with Odell Beckham for the most 60-plus yard receiving touchdowns before turning 25 years old. Moving into this next week, he now leads the NFL in receiving yards over expected on both passes under 10 air yards and over 10 air yards. So you throw the guy the ball, he is going to run away with it for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, twice on deep touchdowns this week, he caught some legit touchdown passes.
His yards after catch is what's really getting him
The
some
old
yards.
yak.
Yep. I watched him on that. He caught the ball and just found a seam, and he was gone.
Yeah, 95 yards after catch in that Ravens game. So the game before that, 63 against the Panthers. So like I said, the guy catches the ball and he is gone. Jamar Chase is my daily dog.
Pull that Daily Dogs out!
That's right.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Who do you got, my
You're
man?
going to be thrilled about this one.
Yeah.
And this is, like I said, a great example of how I hate to do this.
Bipartisanship.
Bipartisan.
I think is the
I can
correct
be
word.
unbiased during this because as much as I hate how this guy is on the Broncos,
Yep.
wish he was on the Chiefs like his dad, but I got to honor it because he is the best cornerback in the league, and it's not even close. Not only that, he's really making a case for one of the best cornerbacks to ever play the game at this point if his career continues like it is now.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I'm talking about Pat Surtain II for the Broncos, who has been shutting down sides of the field each week. I'm just going to run down. This was the Raiders game where the Broncos, and this was a game-tipping play where it was 10-3.
It was looking rough.
The Gardner Minshew Raiders were marching down. They were on like their own 10, or they were on the Broncos 10, about to score. Gardner Minshew throws an interception. Surtain catches it, goes 100 yards. Then it's 10-10. After that, the Broncos just took over.
Yep, took all the momentum out of them.
Yep. Well, in that game, Surtain had 3 tackles. He was targeted 4 times. And he allowed 2 receptions for 24 yards and then also had 2 interceptions. He had another one other than the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Unreal. And not just was he a dog of this week, he's been a total dog this whole year. I'm just going to run down this real quick. It is just ridiculous the amount of yards he's allowing each week. So, week 1 against the Seahawks, pretty much DK Metcalf he shadowed. Targeted 5 times, allowed 4 catches, 39 yards. Next week against Steelers, George Pickens, targeted 2 times, 1 catch for 16 yards. Next week against Buccaneers and Mike Evans, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Targeted 1 time, 1 catch, 8 yards allowed.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right, then last week against the Jets, really rainy game. He was targeted 3 times, 2 catches, 22 yards allowed, and then, like I said, 24 yards allowed on Sunday. This dude's the best cornerback in the game. I'm really not looking forward to it when the Chiefs play him because he also got Riley Moss on the other side.
Speaking of which, I think he's the first white cornerback with an interception this millennium.
Yep, so true.
Yeah, so,
Yep.
Riley
And
Moss,
one more
down for
thing
the white boys.
for Pat Surtain, finished with 2 interceptions against the Raiders, including that 100-yard pick 6, and Surtain reached a top speed of 20.92 miles per hour on
moving.
his pick six, his fastest speed as a ball carrier since week 12 of 2021, where he reached 22.07.
Also,
He's fast.
great block on Gardner Minshew on that play.
Yeah, that was
Pancake
pretty awesome.
block. Pretty funny. But yeah, that's Chad's daily.
Daily.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
My other daily dog. I'm gonna go back to the college realm here as Boise State's running back Austin Gianti. No, they spelled it wrong. It's Ashton. Up here they said Austin. That's not even me. That's just me reading. Ashton Gianti is having one hell of a season as a running back. He is currently chasing another legendary running back out of Oklahoma State, Mr. Barry Sanders' record as a running back in college. Barry Sanders tallied 2,628 yards in 1998.
For Oklahoma State, right?
Yep, Oklahoma State. Never been touched. A couple guys have gotten close. They cannot get past the 2,600 mark, but right now, through 5 games, Ashton Gianti has 1,031 yards on 95 carries. He's averaging 10 yards per carry.
Nuts. Averaging a first down every time.
16 touchdowns.
Wow.
I don't even know. There's going to be some quarterbacks in college that don't even have that many touchdowns.
No, not even close.
But here's a little bit of just like his games so far. In 2 of these games, he has only played a half, mind you. They took him out. So
that's unreal.
Yeah, so the first game, 20 attempts, 267 yards, 13.4 average, 6 touchdowns in one game.
Wow.
The second game against Oregon, 25 carries, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns, with a long of 70, mind you. Let's see. The next game, 11 carries, 127 yards. The game after that, 26, 259, 4 touchdowns. And this most recent game, 13 attempts, only played a half, 186 yards, with a long of 75. Mind you, in every game, he has a run of over 60 yards. Wow. And he had 3 touchdowns in that last game. So Ashton Gianti, I was talking a lot about Travis Hunter. This might be the first top 3 Heisman finishers where there's only one quarterback in quite some time, because you might have Travis Hunter and Ashton Gianti, maybe Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
I don't
after
know.
last week, man, and I kept talking about Jalen Milroe. I think I jinxed him because now
he ruined him.
He pretty much lost his Heisman chance. I mean, that loss was
That's a killer.
You don't really come back from that in the Heisman race.
So yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, we're 5 games in. He's at the rate he's going to, I think, get real close, and we'll see if he can pull it off. If he does, you got to think.
What's he at right now? What's his total?
1,095.
Wow. Yeah, there's a real chance. Only
And
5 games in.
what do they play 12 now? Or I don't know what the
12 or 13.
regular season is, because you can play bowl game and then playoffs and stuff. But yeah, I mean, he's got a real chance at the rate he's going. He's averaging over 100 yards a game, almost close to 200.
Yeah.
And then he's only playing halves, so I don't know. Imagine if he played the whole game. So yes, Ashton Gianti,
Daily.
put him back in, man. He's on the loose. Who's your next one, Mr. Chen?
All right, we're going to stay in college football. This was the upset of the century for Vanderbilt. They hadn't beaten Alabama since I think it was like 1984, right? Something
Yeah,
like
and this
that.
is also their first win against a number 1 team, which that shouldn't
not
really
surprising,
happen
yeah.
that often anyways.
But it's pretty amazing, and it came off the back of the 6-foot quarterback from Albuquerque, New Mexico, who outplayed the current favorite to win the 2024 Heisman Trophy, in Jalen Milroe. Diego Pavia is his name. I hope I'm saying his last name right.
Pavia, yeah, sure.
Pavia. But this kid, and he actually had a wrestling scholarship. He didn't get
He
any
does not
scholarships.
look like a quarterback.
No.
I was watching it, I was like, that does not look like a quarterback
He looks
at
like a
all.
solid running back or
Yeah,
something.
seriously.
But he's, only 6 foot, but he did have a scholarship to Nebraska for wrestling, and decided
Good wrestlers, like a lot of
to-
corn-fed boys out there.
walk on at Vanderbilt and upset the number 1 team in the country. He finished with 16 of 20 passing for 252 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had 20 carries for 56 yards rushing on the day. Pavia helped seal the win for the Commodores. which is a strange name for a mascot because all I think of is the old school fun.
The Commodores.
Yeah,
The Commodores.
Yep. But he did it with a 7-play, 53-yard drive during the fourth quarter when he found tight end Cameron Johnson for the eventual game-winning 6-yard touchdown pass. I mean, this guy, so much pressure on his back. You know, Alabama came in there. Not only did he just shock the world, but it was amazing. It doesn't matter if the school got fined or not. Totally worth it. They storm the field, take down the goalpost, take it 7 miles down the street, and throw it in the river in Nashville.
That's what you gotta do, man. Just throw it on in the river.
Did you even see where Theo Vaughn was there too? Because it was in Nashville, and he helped throw the Gatorade cooler on the coach.
Really? No,
dude, it was so cool, man.
He's all over, man. He's interviewing
it's awesome.
Trump and everything. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, Theo's awesome, man. Theo's the shit. So he's supporting Vanderbilt. Pretty cool.
Vanderbilt, the Vandies.
So that is my other Daily Dawgs.
Daily.
Yes. Well, let's get into the music break. This week we have more from Cobranoid, and the name of this song is Flesh and Bone off of their new self-titled album, Cobranoid, which you can find on their Bandcamp, cobranoid.bandcamp.com. Anyways, here is a little bit of Cobranoid, and that song is Flesh and Bone, and it's going to be happening right now.
What was
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard Cobranoid, Flesh and Bone, off of their new self-titled album, Cobranoid. You can find that and all their music, as well as when they're playing next and merch, on cobranoid.bandcamp.com. Those are the best places to go and find any of your local musicians' music, because you can buy it directly from them and cut out the middleman. But on that, we must get into our sponsor of the show, SDR Collectibles, where you can find all of your collectibles, whether it be Funko Pop, baseball, football, whatever kind of cards you got going on. They got it. They also have a new event coming up, which is November 2nd. That is 2024 at the South Suburban Sports Complex from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is the 5280 Collectible Expo. Sports cards and memorabilia will be on display. Make sure you go and stop by SDR Collectibles booth and see what they got. I saw the last show that they were at. They had a bunch of good cards. I think I saw like a Jamal Murray rookie card or something like that.
And they did pretty well too.
Did they?
Yeah, they sold like a Josh Allen one for $200, I believe it was.
Nice.
I
know he had like a Christian McCaffrey rookie in there. And stuff,
he had a bunch of good ones. They did pretty well there. They stacked up a lot of bread. But yeah, this one here, it's free admission, 150 plus tables, sports card and memorabilia, and there's Pokemon cards, everything you need.
Yeah, probably Magic the Gathering, all that stuff. Whatever you want to collect, it'll be there to collect. Go and collect some of their wares and make some money, spend some money. These things are only going up in value, so whatever you buy it at, hopefully it'll be worth more in a short amount of time. So
November 2nd, SDR Collectibles.
Yes,
go
check it out. Make sure to go and follow them on all things social media, as I'm sure they're going to have more stuff coming down the pike soon. I know they were talking about getting like a little bit of a podcast video thing going, so we'll see what's going on with that. But make sure to check out SDR Collectibles, and it is time now for us to get into a little bit of the college football here. So which one do we want to hear? We'll go this one.
390. Check. Red 18. Red 18. Needle dick.
Ferocious hit. And if you were a ranked team this week, you might have taken a ferocious hit, as there were a lot of upsets this week. Mainly being the one we talked about before going to the music break as the biggest one of all, where Vanderbilt, unranked, just wallops Alabama. But any given Sunday, any given Saturday, right, Chad?
Saturdays,
that's
right, man.
So
Al Pacino said it best.
He said it best.
It's not just
Wrong
Sundays.
day, Saturdays as well.
Yep.
But that wasn't the only one.
There were 6 teams in the top 25 that were upset.
Yeah. Well, the first of which, Syracuse on Friday got upset by. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't even think I counted that one. I think that makes 7. I think I missed that one.
Yeah, so there's 7.
So,
I said it wrong. Syracuse upsets number 25 UNLV at home, 44-41 in overtime.
What a shootout.
Kyle McCord was the passing leader of that game with 355 yards. And, UNLV probably ranked no more.
No, yeah, definitely not. Then Arkansas. And this was crazy because this is the first time Tennessee's been in the top 4, I think, in a long time. Very long time, but not too much longer. Arkansas beats them 19-14.
Yeah, Tennessee now ranked 8th, and SMU is now 25 as UNLV is gone.
Hell yeah.
So,
that's where Rasheed Rice's alma mater.
Alma mater.
Yep. Well, then you got Miami. Almost lost to Cal. They flew across this whole country and just won by 1, 39-38. But Missouri, good old Missouri, felt the misery in that one. They got shellacked, 41-10. Texas A&M beat them at College Station.
At least that was a ranked team beating them.
Yeah, that was the 25th ranked team. But
what are you gonna do?
They got beat real bad.
Yeah, and then what else do we got here?
We got Washington. This is the rematch of last year's national championship game. And Washington got their revenge because Michigan didn't have O'Connor Stallions on the sidelines.
Nope, nobody was stealing signs over there.
Yep, they were in Washington, and they beat number 10 ranked Michigan 27-17.
Yeah, and then the next one, number 11, USC falls to Minnesota there in Minnesota, 24-17.
I love how you
know?
can't ever say Minnesota without doing that.
It's impossible.
if
Minnesota.
If we're ever hanging out and we meet someone from Minnesota,
they're gonna hate me.
You don't have to do that every time.
I do.
I don't talk like
have
that.
to do it. Minnesota.
Let's see. Then the next one. Damn, talk about Boise State. Thanks to Jonte. He put up 62. I didn't realize that. 62 points on Utah State.
Yeah.
Yeah, SMU beat number 22 ranked Louisville 34-27.
Yeah, to move them into 25th.
Nice.
So
Southern Methodist University.
So the old they got the death penalty in college football back in the day for paying people back in the 80s.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they got the death penalty.
Well, that does it for the upsets. But next week we finally got, and it's funny, dude, because if you remember this, I don't know if you remember when I brought up college football last week. I was like, oh, there's no good games. There's not much to watch.
Bunch of games to watch.
Yeah, you never know.
We were wrong.
Any given Saturday, indeed.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, week 7, we got the Red River Shootout. Texas and Oklahoma. It's going down.
It's going down.
If
Oklahoma.
Can get week 7 to load. There we go. All right. It's starting off with Utah versus Arizona State on Friday. Internet's being slow right now. Then here's the game of the week, really, is Kansas State versus Colorado in Folsom Stadium. Number 18th ranked Kansas State. And we got news today. Shiloh Sanders will be coming back.
His arm is surgically repaired.
Yep.
He's as good as new.
They built him better.
They built him better.
Bigger, faster, stronger.
I need to get the $6 million man sound.
Oh, that would be cool.
Which is also cool back then. $6 million could turn you into a superhero.
Oh, yeah.
Look how inflation
that is
happens.
Kind of, that's funny.
Inflation's
Now
a
you
bitch.
need the $6 billion man.
At least.
Man, Alabama fell all the way to 7th. That's crazy. They're gonna be
they took
taking
a
on,
hard hit.
Yeah, South Carolina. And then the new number 1. Yeah, that is what I should have mentioned before that game. Number 1, Texas, will be taking on number 18th ranked Oklahoma.
And supposedly,
I think
Ewers is healthy.
Yeah,
Will
they always
play
this at a neutral location. They'll be playing in Dallas at AT&T Stadium for the Cotton Bowl. I think
Not
it's
a
AT&T.
very...
Isn't that the AT&T Stadium?
Yeah.
I mean, they always do that. They've been doing that for years. But yeah, I think Quinn Ewers, like you said, I think he will be playing.
Ready to play. We'll see. Do you bench the prodigal son and put Ewers back in? I don't know.
This team's so good. They
think
could
it really
win
matters.
with or their defense is ridiculous.
They could win with
always
Deshaun
have,
Watson back there.
Amazing running backs. Last year they had Jonathan Brooks, who tore his ACL. He's on the Panthers now, but no matter what, I think they're going to beat the hell out of it. But, I mean, that's just it. This rivalry game's always amazing. They call it a shootout for a reason. They bring real revolvers out there. Maybe. Hold on. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Just kidding. But then you got number 4, Penn State. I love that these old Pac-12 teams are playing these Big Ten, and it just seems so crazy. Number 4, Penn State's taking on USC. This will be another good one. Notre Dame's taking on Stanford. A couple of smart kids in that game.
Ivy League.
Yeah. Let's see. Georgia's taking on Mississippi State. Georgia fell to 5. Then Tennessee's taking on Florida. There we go. Okay, I knew there was a good one. Number 2 ranked Ohio State, who is still undefeated. They haven't been upset yet. They have a pretty good team this year. Because Dylan Gabriel, their old Oklahoma quarterback, is QBing for Ohio State. We'll be taking on 3rd ranked Oregon in Oregon at 5:30 on Peacock or NBC, however you watch these. I will be tuning into that game. That will be a good one. Because, dude, CU's not starting until 8:15.
Yeah, I know.
That's so dumb that they do that.
The game will be over by midnight. Yeah. The way college games are, they're like 4 hours long.
Seriously. Because they'll go into overtime, and it's like 3-4 overtime.
And there's just so many pauses. And there's just a lot going on there.
Another good one, the pretty much last good game of the top 25s. Number 9, Ole Miss versus 13th, LSU. Should be a good game there.
Yeah.
You got Jackson Dart. That guy is going to be a good. He's going to be a NFL prospect for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that'll wrap it up on college football.
Yeah, that wraps it up. Let's move into the NBA for a little bit here. We got some WNBA to talk about as we're getting ready for the finals in the WNBA.
Yeah.
But here we go.
Magic, right side to Scott. Slam dunk. 4 seconds. 3 seconds left. Why they not fouling? Jumper Murray. Denver bounce.
Pump fake for two. Kobe's got the Lakers record. 81-point game. Ladies and gentlemen,
We have the game on.
second
Yep.
greatest
I
scoring
finally got
performance in
this team is like
NBA
really on and off. It sucks.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm burning. My lungs are burning.
You remember that scene in that movie? So you watched it, a few weeks ago, right? Where
Yeah.
he walks into the wedding at the very beginning and he just slips on the floor.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's one of
I
the
saw
funniest
this
parts.
hilarious reel that was like when the cops were walked into P. Diddy's room.
How they
and he
slip.
just totally hits it. Oh man, just watch it because you could tell that Philip Seymour Hoffman, R.I.P., just he ate it.
He might not have. That might have been on accident. I don't know.
No, I don't think that was like faked or anything. That looked like a real fall, man.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I brought it up to Hannah and she was like, she totally knew the part I was talking about. And she said when she was like in high school and watched that movie, she and her friends were like watching that at like some summer party or something like that. Rewinded it and then just like kept watching like 7 times in a row.
Yeah, when that part happened, it made me laugh out loud by myself, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this movie's funny."
Dude, it's so good.
if
He
you get a good
the
solid,
floor so hard.
legit LOL by yourself, you're like, "This is good."
It's always nice to laugh out loud.
Yeah, get a LOL.
She always gets on me because sometimes I'm weird like that where if she says something really funny, I'll go, "Oh, that's a good one," and she hates it. But I'm like, that's how I measure comedy.
Yeah.
If I laugh, most times I'm fake laughing.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
if I say, "Oh, that's a good one," that means it's really
I
funny.
mean, Meryl always says I never give her enough credit for how funny she is. I'm like, I can't let your head get too big.
Jokes got to get better, I guess.
But
All right, well, NBA.
Let's talk about the NBA. There's not too much news. The league
Preseason
is
has started.
coming up in I believe it's.
I'm not ready for it, dude.
Is it
I'm
this?
not.
It's next month, I think.
October 27th is
Oh,
I think,
shit.
the first game, something like that.
Yeah, it's this. It's this.
It's coming up, but it's coming on us fast. Like we were just talking about with Swipa. The Nuggets had some preseason games in Abu Dhabi. Did you see Michael Malone in the?
The chic outfit, or
Is that what it's called?
I think.
I really didn't want to say it out loud.
I think it's a
but
chic.
That
yeah.
was awesome. So
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Did you
was-
see Jamal show up with the fake sleeve? He had like a full sleeve of tattoos that were fake.
I was like one of those.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I thought he got like a full sleeve, and then I
That's
guess it was
crazy.
fake. But
I didn't see that.
yeah, Abu Dhabi.
It
We
looked
had
awesome,
Abu
dude.
Dhabi games. We had 2 games against the reigning champion Celtics.
Yep.
Lost both of them, but like Swiper brought up, we were really only worried about the first half. The second half is whatever.
And they were playing good in the first
They looked
halves.
real good in the first half, so I'm not too worried about that. But in terms of news,
There's really nothing else for the NBA.
yeah, I mean, the GMs are saying the Celtics are going to win it all. Other news, a lot of NBA execs think Bronny is just not ready for the NBA.
Oh,
and
man, how funny is this? You look at his stat lines, it was like 13 minutes played, 0 points, like...
didn't even touch the ball.
and then 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
That's the way it always be. He got a few blocks in one of those games, but, man, it is not looking good.
Yeah, they did make history as they were the only father-son duo to play in an NBA game. Granted, it was preseason, but Bronny, we'll see how this experiment pans out because it is a very interesting one, and I'm just not sure it's going to work. But
Yep.
I've been proven wrong many a times before, so we'll see how that goes. But let's get into the WNBA. It's also the NBA, guys. Come on now, there's just a W in front of it.
Yeah.
But the semifinals are almost over. The New York Liberty defeat the reigning champion Las Vegas Aces 3-1 in their series.
It was a rematch
They
of
only
last
played
year's
5
finals.
series. Yeah, rematch of last year's finals. But as Chad mentioned last week, we didn't even realize this. There's no real like divisions
It's just like because there's only I think like 12 teams.
Yeah,
or
so
something.
they're just like you're all against each other.
And it is kind of a bummer because there's really only 5 to 6 really good. Good teams, and then you got like 4 teams that are just really good, and it's normally the same ones. But the Minnesota Lynx and the Connecticut Sun right now are playing, and holy cow, the Lynx are way up on the Sun. And a lot of people expected the Sun to be the ones to win because then you'd have an I-95 like Kornheiser were talking about. WNBA Finals, where you got Connecticut going against New York Liberty.
Yeah.
But this series is tied 2-2, and I believe this is a best-of-5 series, so I think whoever wins tonight...
it's over.
Yep, I think the Lynx
And
got it
right
pretty much wrapped up.
now, the Lynx are up. It was 44-22, I think.
Yeah, now I've got it on ESPN on my computer right here. It's 24-44, so... They just made it 3. The Sun did, so... Yeah, this is going to be great. Minnesota Lynx versus... And did you see Justin Jefferson was in the stands the other day?
Yeah.
That's why I love talking about this, man. I'm not going to be left behind on the WNBA.
No.
I think when the finals start, we should have Timeout Sports back on. That dude knows more about WNBA than anybody that I know.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know too many people, honestly.
Yep.
We're part of the problem. I've said it before. We need to get better about it, and that's what we're going to do when the finals come.
I'm telling you, you got to stop including we on that. I watched a lot of WNBA this year.
Whatever.
It was a lot of it thanks to the Caitlin Clark, but...
And also the viewership, once she got knocked out, went down like 70%.
Oh, what are you talking about? No,
Was it more than that?
No, it stayed up. I actually have a
I saw
graphic.
it dropped a lot.
No, so Caitlin Clark got sent home, and viewership has not dropped at all. The WNBA is not hurting.
The thing
for
I wrote was
stars.
fake news.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. It's like when it comes to hockey, you take that.
Okay,
I'll take
you're
this,
WNBA.
man. All right, the WNBA is not hurting for stars. Asia Wilson, Dewana Bronner, Brianna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Ionescu, who, dude, the New York Liberty with Brianna.
They're good.
She is ridiculous. They talk about how she'll go on streaks like Steph Curry. When she gets hot, it's red hot. She does not miss. And then you got Gianni Carrington, who's playing tonight. Alyssa Thomas, Marina Mabry. Dude, the media lied to y'all. That's what this post here said.
I got people. Fake news.
Yep.
Fake news got me.
It's
It can happen to the best of you.
Yep.
So, don't listen to what I say. Listen to Mr. Chad over here. He's got his finger on the pulse of the WNBA.
Well, it's going to be good, man, because New York Liberty, Brianna Stewart, and Brianna Ionescu, or Sabrina Ionescu, they're just ridiculous. It is watching like super teams almost play, and I mean it's damn good basketball.
Yeah, well, we've always said it's more of like a team basketball, anyways, just because inherently that's how they play.
Yep.
So it is a lot more entertaining.
Well,
we love
see a lot
Nuggets
of,
basketball. It's the same type of thing. Team
Sloppy
basketball.
play in the NBA because they get a little.
Everybody thinks they're the one.
Yeah, and so in here they have there's the margin for error is a lot less. So I'll say that.
All right, well, take
Let's
that
move
little
on.
tidbit, do with it what you will. But where should we go now?
Want to throw UFC in there real quick? We just need really one fight to talk about.
Okay, let's do it. We'll get to some UFC right now.
All right.
Let's get it on!
Let's get it on.
We watched Khalil Rountree's face get beat to a pulp.
Yeah, and he was looking all right in the first couple rounds.
He won the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, he was looking good. And then the inevitable happened.
Yep.
Poatan Mark Goddard, the referee, said in 20 years of doing
This was a good quote.
mixed martial arts fights, he has never in his life heard punches that sound like that. And when you look at Khalil Rountree's face at the end of the fight, I mean, it's his nose looked like it exploded, and his eye had a huge gash on it.
It was brutal.
Yeah, it was a brutal beating that he received, and all at the hands of Poatan, who now I think has the most UFC title defenses, passing. Who is it?
What do you mean he has the most?
In modern era? Or wait,
No,
I said it wrong. I have it.
He
right
tied Habib and Islam and somebody else. But
hold on. I have something here. I got a thing.
Anderson
This
Silva
is from
has the
ESPN MMA. So this is what I was trying to say. Oh, it's light heavyweight. So
Okay.
he's tied Daniel Cormier for third most light heavyweight title defenses in modern UFC history. He also broke Ronda Rousey's record for shortest time between 3 title defenses with 175 days.
And this is him only being in the UFC for 3 years.
Yeah, and according to him, he's right. He'll fight all the time, so I don't even know.
No, actually, after this, he said he deserves. He's going to take a break, not like an Israel break or anything like that. But he said he deserves
John Jones
some rest, and so he's gonna. I mean, he fought 3 times in 2024.
which is crazy.
It's
and
nuts,
they're all
dude.
title defenses.
Dude, and I got to mention this. This to me is one of the coldest just remarks and just like slights I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So Jamal Hill, if you remember when he knocked him out.
Oh yeah.
So
I did see this. It's funny.
After he knocks out what's his face, Khalil Roundtree, in this crowd is Jamal Hill, who Pereira knocked out recently, and he's yawning, acting like the fight was boring. So in the press conference, somebody asked Poatan about this, and he goes, "Oh, well, maybe he just woke up from UFC 300." Oh, damn!
Sick burn.
That is the
Get you some ice.
Scalding hot burn.
Because he did knock him out.
And just the way Alex says these things, dude, when he burns people, it's like he doesn't even try. It's not even like he's Conor McGregor or Colby just trying to be over the top. He just says it like he's a stone cold killer, man. And I mean,
Maybe
to get to the fight.
Yeah, it's like it's like Terminator. Maybe he just woke up.
Or like Rocky. If he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But, I mean, dude, like, when it comes to the fight, yeah, I mean, Khalil Roundtree, you got to hand it to him. Yuri couldn't do this. Jamal Hill couldn't do this. Sean Strickland couldn't do this. This has been the hardest fight for Poatan so far, excluding the fight where he lost against Israel, obviously. But, I mean, Roundtree really was landing some shots. He was really giving it a good fight. And then Poatan just figured him out, and he started landing them, and they just land so hard. I don't even understand how they are so hard.
The head movement, too, that he was getting on him there in the later rounds was just like, I mean, everything. He just, whoof, whoof, and then just picking and popping, and every one of them are hitting.
It's
and
insane
like,
how calm he is, dude.
Yeah.
He's just like frown-faced, walks flat foot, and then pops you, and it's just a knockout. And it was actually body shots that did it, because he was bloodying up his face. There was at one point where he had broken his nose.
You could tell he didn't want his face to get hit anymore, and he opened up the body, and then that was when he just started annihilating.
He
his
hit him in the body,
yeah.
And he crumbled, and then he started, just finishing him off with some hammer fists, and then it was over. But I don't really. The next one is going to be Ankalaev, a guy from Dagestan. I don't know if. I just don't see anybody beating Poatan. To me, he's the greatest fighter in the world right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out. I would like to see him go up, wait and fight John Jones.
It would be amazing, but I think John's going to avoid that.
Yeah.
I think he definitely will.
John's best bet, I think, is to not fight anymore and just stay allure of him being what he is.
Yeah, he is scheduled to fight Stipe, I think in November. I think it's November.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yep, pretty good card.
Wouldn't be surprised if he gets in trouble before then. Right. But let's move real quick to the penalty box, if you will, there, and talk just real quick about hockey, because it's here.
You do that, you go to the box, 2 minutes by yourself, and you feel shame,
You feel shame.
And then you get free.
And then you get free. And yeah, NHL is free as of today. This is day 1 of the NHL season. We had 3 games today kicking it off. One at 2:30 between St. Louis and the Seattle Kraken. The St. Louis Blues win that one 3-2. Right now you have Boston taking on the Florida Panthers. Panthers are up 5-1 on Boston. That is with 10 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the second period. And then tonight you have the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Utah Hockey Club.
Connor Bedard.
Yeah, Connor Bedard's back. He says he's ready. He's feeling good. He's probably going to be really good again this year. So
I would imagine.
But we'll dive more into hockey next week. Right now, though, there's a lot of baseball to talk about. Baseball. We got a lot of baseball to talk about. So let's get into a little bit of the MLB here.
Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason in his major league debut.
Gonna light your ass up, meat.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Well, it's here. Playoffs are happening. Baseball is entertaining again. The regular season, the marathon of the regular season is over, and now the action-packed playoffs are here, and it has been action-packed.
And it sure has been. And for the first time, I'm not sure how many years, but it has been quite a while that all of the games in the division series are tied at 1-1, except for it was going before today, but today the Mets beat the Phillies 7-2. I'm pretty happy about that because the Phillies are really good.
Yeah, the Phillies are looking like one of the better teams in baseball right now, just in terms of the uptick they're on and the momentum they've got. As Chad mentioned, the Phillies are down 2-1 to the Mets. The Mets, I don't think at the beginning of the year anybody would really thought that they would be here in the National League Division Series, maybe some diehard Mets fans, but they have pulled it off. They are fighting on the Phillies. But let's move to the other the National League Division Series, which is the Dodgers versus the Padres, and this one has gotten a little contentious.
Oh yeah,
we had
fight start.
We had Manny Machado threatening to fight another player after the game. He then threw a ball into the dugout. It's popping off here, and it is tied 1-1. The Dodgers win the first game, and then the Padres shellac them the second game 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
They will take on them tonight at 9:08 p.m., which is such a strange starting time for a baseball game, but it is looking
9:08 Eastern time. It'll be starting here in about 10 minutes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, 7:08
weird.
Mountain Standard.
I didn't see that on mine.
So it'll be 6:08 their time in
San
Diego.
San Diego.
But yeah, I mean,
Vagina.
we forget the story too. I mean, there were fans throwing baseballs at the Dodgers.
They had to come together and tell the fans, "Stop it, guys."
Yeah, it was nuts, man. It got really heated. I mean, it's a good rivalry. These are two teams with very high payrolls. I think maybe two of the highest in the league. Two of the top three.
Up
maybe.
there for sure, yeah.
If the Mets aren't up there. I know the Mets, Padres, and Dodgers.
I'll be right back.
Yep. But, Shohei Ohtani had one of the best years. So I know he came out and said that when he couldn't pitch this year, he wanted to do something that no one's ever done before. And he did it with the 50-50 club. Now, he says he wants to do it for the playoffs. So we're waiting to see kind of if he can lead the Dodgers past the division series into the World Series. But they got to get past the Padres tonight. King is on the mound for the Padres, and then Buehler's on the mound for the Dodgers. We're going to shift gears a little bit and go to the American League, where last night, my Royals, where they at? Oh, it's over there. Right there. Beat the Yankees 4-1. No, I think it ended up 4-2, beating Rondon. And, I think they're going to be going back to Kansas City. And last night, they showed a graphic where Aaron Judge now has the highest strikeout rate in MLB history.
I don't doubt it. It's like one of those guys, man. If all you do is swing for power, more often than not, you're going to have a shitload of strikeouts.
And it's like one of those guys, too, where it's like, there's a reason why Derek Jeter was considered Mr. October because, I mean, he's just so consistent. You can have 58 homers in the regular season, but that don't mean jack shit in October. Yeah. You got to be consistent. And that goes for Bobby Witt, too. He won the batting title. He's now, I think, 0 for 10. He's not doing too well, and I don't think that's going to continue. I think in Kansas City with the crowd behind him, I think he's going to play a lot better. But they are tied 1-1 going to Kansas City.
Yeah, I saw something Jazz Chisholm posted. I want to see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah, he was out. That was some bullshit, man.
He posted something. Maybe this is it here. Where he basically said that he posted this graphic of what the Yankees' chances of winning that game were, after everything, and they were supposed to win that game, but somehow they didn't. I can't find it right now. So
okay, well, yeah,
I'm not gonna go into it, but yeah,
they play tomorrow night at 5:08 in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Seth Lugo's on the mound, and then Schmidt for the Yankees. So feeling pretty good with Lugo on the mound. He's their top ace.
I hope they beat the Yankees. So,
yes.
We all...
And then the early game at 1:08 Mountain Standard Time is in Detroit. The Guardians will be taking on the Tigers, the hottest team in baseball right now. The series is tied 1-1. It's undecided who's on the mound for the Tigers right now, but Cobb is on the mound for the Guardians.
Yeah, and Chad mentioned it. The Tigers, I think, after the All-Star break, had like a 2% chance of making the playoffs or something crazy like that. Went on like some 30 games streak to get back into it, similar to like what my Rockies did in 07, you know?
Yeah.
October, no big deal.
That's
That's
right.
all I've got to hang my hat on.
It's all about momentum in baseball.
Yeah.
Right.
So, we're going to see how it plays out, though, because we are in the thick of it. By next week, we might have some of these wrapped up. So
Well,
we
best
will
of
have
5
some
series,
yeah.
so I guarantee you
They're all going to be wrapped up
the
by
World
now.
Series will be decided when it comes down to it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it'll be decided next week, but because we'll still have the division series.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see whoever wins between the Guardians, the Tigers, and the Yankees and the Royals.
That's right.
So, we'll be into that next division series after this week. So let us move on. I think we've only got one thing left to do.
I think so. Let's get them on the line.
Let's get him on the line. He's always on the line because he's like lunch meat. He's always ready. That is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. John Daly is about to hit it hard.
Man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I
Hit it hard. That's right. We've made it to the end of episode 104. It is the Daily Dose of Excellence brought to you by John Daly himself. He does not actually endorse the show in any way, but
we know he would.
In spirit, we know he does, and that's all that matters. This week, it's a little bit older, as it came when the grounds crew. I'm sorry. It came when the season ended for the Athletics. We did want to talk about Dikembe Mutombo last week, as there was a whole slew of deaths in the world of sports. But we did want to talk about this one because it was super cool, as we've come to the end of an era. The Oakland Coliseum is no more. It's one of the worst ballparks in the MLB. Is a terrible, terrible place. We all know it. The Raiders used to play there back in the day when you would see the diamond in the middle of the field. It is not a good place in terms of quality, but in terms of the memories that were made there were many. I saw a guy holding a sign on the last day that says, "I was here for the first pitch at Oakland Coliseum, and I'm here for the last."
That was pretty cool.
Super cool.
Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire played there.
Yeah.
That's where Moneyball happened.
Yeah.
It got first built 1966, so it stood for a long time. They probably should have made some renovations. Andy Reid used to really talk about how the toilets would always overflow when that's one reason they hated playing there.
I think they like that, though. It's like always only in the visiting locker room. Like, somehow.
What a coincidence.
Yeah.
But what we're going to get at is the groundskeeper.
You don't have a name.
Yeah, it was basically just a few different ones, but it was really cool of them to do this. Thousands who attended the team's finale in Oakland received a commemorative ticket and a toy replica of the Coliseum. However, fans wanted more as a way to remember a year's worth of attending A's games at 7000 S Coliseum Way, something they could cherish forever. And in doing that, the groundskeepers would put dirt in fans' cups and bottles and bags so that they could hold on to forever. Because after that dirt's going away.
And these guys didn't have to do this. They stayed after, and the guy's literally out there with a shovel scooping up, just little bits of little shovelfuls of the infield and pouring it into people's bottles. People didn't stop there, though, as several fans did rip the seats out of the stadium and tried to walk out with it. I don't know if they made it out of the stadium with... That's
hilarious.
Literally, it's like two guys carrying like 3 seats hooked together.
My God.
The bottoms, though, are all rusted and corroded, so it looks like it didn't take much for them to rip them out. Hopefully somebody let them go with those. But yeah, as Chad mentioned, it's not that old of a ballpark. I mean, it was built well after, Wrigley and, the Yankee Stadium and stuff, but it just never got updated, and that's been one of their big bugaboos. Is we want somewhere better to play, The city didn't want it, and now both the Raiders and the A's are going to Vegas, tentatively. We'll see if that ends up happening. As of this next year, though, the Athletics will be playing in a minor league ballpark nearly 2 hours away. And that is what's going to mark the end to the 57-year tenure in Oakland.
But it's pretty cool because you know that people that got that dirt and that soil, they're going to be able to tell their kids, their grandkids, that is soil from Oakland Stadium.
Yeah.
That's something nobody could replace. That's something nobody could duplicate. It's pretty cool.
I'll have to ask my mom. It's not the same thing, but she used to have, I think it's a mason jar filled with ash and soot from when Mount St. Helens erupted back in the day.
That'd be
because
cool.
It traveled
awesome.
all the way from Washington to Colorado, and she scooped it off the window of her car.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess that cloud.
I think that was 1981.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when it blew up, it like sent a dust cloud across
That's
North
insane,
America.
Man.
So I think somewhere, I don't know if she still has it, but my mom had.
She should. Stuff like that's cool.
Mount St. Helens remnants in a mason jar. So things like that, you never know. And then you find it, and you're like, what the hell is this? Whatever water bottle filled with dirt is in your grandpa's attic, and then you throw it away, not knowing that was the last little bit of the Oakland Coliseum.
Pretty cool.
That's what happens sometimes.
Yep.
But that's going to do it for episode 104, guys. We appreciate you coming in, joining us.
Real quick, you always hit that real early.
Damn it.
I just want to give you a little preview. As
Oh,
long as
shit.
everything goes according to plan, we will be having our first Cardinals Insider next week.
Yes.
Barak? I think it's Barak is his name, but he's
We're
good.
going to go with that for now.
Yeah, I think he does Locked On Cardinals, and that team is hard to pin right now. They're up and down, so.
Are they going to win? Are they going to lose? We don't know. We'll find out what they're feeling out there next week.
Yep. Kyler Murray's doing ads for COD now.
Yeah, it's over. But we love you guys.
Love you. Thanks for listening, y'all.
I love you, Chad.
Love you, buddy.
Toodles, guys.
Farewell.
We'll see you next week.
Go Sports Ball.
Sports Ball!